recording. Shalom.
You got the cap off the lens.
Yeah, the cap's off. Okay. Shalom, Mandy. It's wonderful to have you here.
Shalom, Doron. Thank you. Good to be here.
And Mandy, we wanted to take this short video shot of you because we want to put on our website some information about our new Olim that have come to Israel and brought with them pets from South Africa. And we wanted you to describe the process you went through so that our other Olim can learn from what you went through. So if you can please just describe to us what the process was, how you felt, was it smooth, was it difficult, how your pet felt afterwards, was it a difficult adjustment, was the whole process worth it in the end? I think that's what our viewers would like to hear from you. So that's it, the camera is yours, off you go.
Thank you. Thanks, Doron. We have a toy Maltese, Coco, who thinks she's human. My daughter and I decided early on in our Aliyah process that we wanted to bring her with. I must say we were discouraged all along. The Shaliach had all sorts of alternative plans, including returning to pick her up at a later stage from our home country. But in the end, my daughter insisted. She said she didn't want to come to Israel without her pet. It was difficult for me. There's quite a lot involved in the process. The dog has to have an up-to-date rabies shot, which must be administered at least a month before departure. We had to have a health check. She had to go to the state vet to receive papers. We had to notify Ben Gurion Airport that we were arriving in a specified time. We had to notify El Al so that they knew that an animal was going to be on board. It was very cheap to fly her. I seem to remember it was something like 400 Rand from our country. I'm not quite sure what the shekel conversion is. That's probably about 200 shekels. When we arrived on the plane, we found that other passengers were not too happy that there was a dog on board. Our dog was small enough. She was under the 8 kilogram cut-off weight, so she was allowed in the cabin, which was wonderful. She had to have either a soft bag or a hard bag that met size specifications. The captain was great. The specifications say that the dog bag has to be lodged under the seat, but he allowed us to have our dog on our laps in her bag. Because of the complaints of other passengers who didn't feel comfortable, we were relegated to the back of the plane. But it was wonderful. It was much quieter, it was less crowded, and we enjoyed the flight immensely. The captain kept coming to check to see that we were comfortable and everything was all right. The dog was a little bit stressed out in the beginning, but soon calmed down because we had a lot of snacks for her, and we fed her parts of our meal as well. No ill effects when she arrived. She had to go straight into dog care because we were not allowed to have pets at Merkaz Klita. That was our address, our ongoing address.
In the absorption centre.
Absorption centre, yes. She was fine. We found a wonderful home pension in Tel Aviv who looked after her really, really well, and we were able to take her back once we rented an apartment, which took us almost a year. We spent some time in the absorption centre. The dog suffered no ill effects. She misses her garden because we don't have a garden here, but otherwise everything's wonderful. We're thrilled that we brought her with. We feel that we would have had a much harder time absorbing without our pet. She was a great comfort and entertainment, and we would definitely bring her with again. It was definitely worth it.
And it wasn't a very expensive exercise?
No, we were surprised at how cheap it was. She went on the flight as excess baggage. She weighed 4 kilograms. I seem to remember it was not more than 400 Rand to put her on the flight.
And all the vaccinations and everything that you had to organise, was that not an expensive thing?
Not really, because they're standard. She would have had to have a rabies shot anyway. It is required in our home country, South Africa. And if one has a pet, one wants to keep the vaccination record up to date for the pet's sake, for her health's sake. It involved a little bit of extra expense. We had to go and see the state vet and send some faxes, but nothing significant.
And when you arrived here, when you got to the airport, you were able to just to walk through with the dog, or she had to stay in quarantine for a while?
No, there's no quarantine as long as you have the correct papers and as long as you've notified the airport vet in advance. Sometimes they check, sometimes they don't. It's their prerogative. In our case, they were happy with our papers and the dog walked straight through. There was no problem.
Right, and the dog today is healthy, and besides missing the garden, happy to be in Israel along with
Yes.
along with you guys.
And I must say has thrived on kosher food.
So the bottom line is that people with pets, you would recommend for them to bring them to Israel. Is this something you think is for everybody to consider, or you think it's only for exceptional people who really have a strong will and desire to go through this?
I would say if your pet is under 8 kilograms and you can put your pet in the cabin with you, then I would definitely recommend bringing the pet. I'm not so sure about boxing pets. I hear there are very good pet travel organizations. Some pets have no problem, others are traumatized. So for people with bigger pets, I think they would need to check out the situation and make a decision.
Okay, so Mandy, thank you very much for sharing your experience with us, and I hope that our viewers, people that are planning Aliyah, it's helped them with their decision whether to bring their pets or not with them when they come to Israel.
Thanks, Doron.
Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom.